Hey, boys and girls, Mrs. Freeland here. Hey, we are starting a new unit in reading, and our new unit is all about the books we read and the characters in the books. So, I've got a couple books that we're going to read today online, and we're going to talk about how we can really pay attention to who the book is about when we talk about our books. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to read, and when we read, we're going to say, My story is about blank. And the fill in the blank is going to be the character your book is about. So, your character in your book could be a person, but characters can also be animals. And sometimes they can be even things that are not alive, but they talk in our book. I think of like Olaf the snowman, right? Snowmen aren't alive, but in the book or in the movie, he is and he talks. So sometimes a character can be something that is not an animal or a person. So when we look at our books, boys and girls, we're going to look at the front page, the title page, and we're also going to look at the beginning of our book, and we're going to look for the character, and we're going to say, my story is about the character, and we're going to say the name of the character even before we read the book. So I bet you've seen these books before. I always like the Froggy books. So we know who the main character is in a Froggy book. It's Froggy, right? So this is Froggy Eats Out. So my book is about Froggy. Now, you know his family is also in there, but he's the main character in the story. Here's another example. This is some books I had growing up. Her name is Amelia Bedelia, and she's a housekeeper that gets a little mixed up. And so this book is about Amelia Bedelia. All right. Now, sometimes the clue is not on the cover. Here's an example of where the wild things are. So I might have to open up the book and look at the next page or two and look at the pictures and who's the main character in this book. We know it's Max, right? His name is Max. So I would say my story is about Max. All right, boys and girls, we're going to listen to a couple stories online. And what you're going to do is you're going to say with me, my story is about blank. And then when you read today, you're going to say that too. So the first story I have is, maybe you've read some of these books before. What was this lady's name? Do you remember her name? This is Mrs. Wishy-Washy. So who's their book about? Mrs. Wishy-Washy, right? So I would say my story is about Mrs. Wishy-Washy because I know she's in the whole story usually. And if you could flip ahead, you'd see that. There's some animals too, but she's the main character. So let's have fun listening to this story.
By Elizabeth Fuller. Snowflakes flew around like big white bees and landed on the arms of winter trees. Snow on the house, snow on the farm, snow on the roof of the wishy-washy barn. Someone came down the snow-deep path. Someone called, "Animals, time for your bath." The animals gasped, they shivered and groaned. "Not a cold bath," the old cow moaned. Mrs. Wishy-Washy filled the big tin tub. "Oh, get ready for your Christmas scrub." "I'm cold," mooed the cow. "I'll get the flu." "I'm cold," squealed the pig. "My snout is blue." "I'm cold," quacked the duck. "My feathers are ice. I'm chilled to the bill, and that's not nice." "Fiddle-dee-dee," Mrs. Wishy-Washy said. "Scrub yourselves from foot to head. I'm going to town. When I get back, you must be as clean as a brand new tack. No dirt, no mess, no mud, do you hear? Or there'll be no presents for you this year." Away she went in her old farm truck, while the cow and the pig and the shivering duck stared at the ice in the old tin tub. How could they sit in that for a scrub? The cow moo. No, a wheeze and sneeze. The pig squealed. No, my snout will freeze. The duck quacked. No, no way I can. But don't worry, friends. I have a plan. So the cow and the pig left the ice-cold bath and followed the duck up the wishy-washy path. They squashed through the gate. They squished through the door, dripping mud and slush on the wishy-washy floor. Come, quacked the duck. I'll show you the way to a bath as sweet as a hot summer day. Oh heaven, oh bliss, a wishy-washy place. Shampoo for the hair and cream for the face. Pink tub, pink towels, a little pink rug, and water as warm as a friendly hug. They jumped right in with splashes and sploshes, and rose pink soap for their Christmas washes. Oink, oink, quack, quack. Moo, moo, moo. They sang through the bubbles of the pink shampoo. When Mrs. Wishy-Washy came back to the farm, she let out a scream like a fire alarm. Oh my, burglars, just look at this mess. Who was in my bathroom? Let me guess. There they were by the Christmas tree, the bathroom burglars, 1, 2, 3, shiny as tacks from heads to toes, and smelling as sweet as a pink new rose. When they saw Mrs. Washy-Washy, they gulped. Oh my, they could kiss their Christmas presents goodbye. She would wag her finger and yell, no, no, and send them back to their tub in the snow. But Mrs. Wishy-Washy said, fiddle-dee-dee, I'm not as mad as I ought to be. Cow, pig, duck, it's the time of year for peace and happiness and good cheer. Then she put her Santa hat on her head and gave them gifts wrapped in green and red. The pig got bubble bath, the duck got soap, the cow got a brush on the end of a rope. Mrs. Wishy-Washy said with a little laugh, I'll put warm water in your old tin bath, but don't use mine again, do you hear? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oink, oink, quack, quack, moo, moo, moo. Thank you, Mrs. Wishy-Washy. Yes, Mrs. Wishy-Washy, dear Mrs. Wishy-Washy, Merry Christmas to you, too. If you like.
Okay, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that story. So remember what you're going to be doing today is you're going to be reading your books and say, my story is about, and what goes in the blank is the character, right? So I'm sure you'll be great at that. So that's how we're starting our character study, boys and girls, is really thinking about who the book is about. Is it about an animal? Is it about a person? Maybe it's about a thing that talks. That's the main character. All right, have fun reading today.